Hello folks, Mundane Man here, and today we are working on the Ram 1500. It is having an issue with the driver's side headlight here, and it's apparently a common problem. Now, I've changed both bulbs in it, high beam and low beam, and I checked the main connector because it's been problematic. So we got the running light on here. We go to the passenger side, working normally. What clued me into the fact that it's probably the wiring harness is number one, research on online. Let's check the high beam here. High beam and low beam not working on that side, whereas they're both working on the passenger side. So I'm going to do the next best thing and change this wiring harness out. Let's pull out the headlight housing to get access to that wiring harness. And this time I'm going to take off the grille. The last time when I did the headlights, I left the grille in, but this time let's try it with taking the grille right out. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is take out all of these plugs to get this top cover off. Looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one's been broken off, and I'm going to hopefully replace that today. And then we can get access to the 4 number 10s that hold the grille in here. I got my plug remover tool here, and we'll see how these go. Generally, they always want to break. And my backup is needle nose pliers here. That one just broke, as per usual. And that top cover comes right off. Okay, so now we have access to our 4 number 10 bolts that are holding the grille on. Now, to get the grille out, you have to be careful that you don't break the tabs that hold it in down at the bottom. So what you need to do is kind of swing it out here like a door, and then you can wiggle it out without breaking off any tabs. Now we've got to take out this body plug here so we can get this flap open, and inside there's a white tab that you have to drop down to get the headlight housing out. And it's hard to get a camera in there, so you have to kind of do it by feel. And that releases the headlight housing. The headlight housing should miraculously come out. Okay, let's disconnect this connector by pushing up the red lock tab. And then we will unplug it. You can use a hook or something. I'm just using a screwdriver to move that red lock up. And then we'll wiggle it out. There's also a bit of a green tab in there. I had to push upwards to get it to unplug. So now we can get the housing in a better position so that we can change the harness. So here's the tail end of the harness that should match up with this one. 3 pins, they look similar. So we're going to turn this counterclockwise about a quarter of a turn. And there's the other part of the harness that gets to these 2 pigtails. Let's open up this cap so we can get access to the plug-in that plugs into the bulb. We'll unplug that. That's the high beam bulb, and this is the low beam, I believe. So we'll take that cap off as well. And there's a plug-in in here that we're going to disconnect. We'll just fish that out. There's no markings that match the old harness, but on the new one with the green and black, it's a little bit longer, so I'm going to make the assumption it comes up to the the low beam bulb, and the red and black goes to the high beam bulb. Okay, let's fish the new one into the housing. Okay, we got our harnesses fed through here. Let's get the connector all the way back into the harness. This connector here is probably the major fail point where the wires come through. Okay, let's plug our connectors back into the bulbs. You could probably put some dielectric grease in there, but you don't really need to. The housing is meant to stay as watertight as it can. These connectors were never the problem as far as getting wet or dirty. Lights plugged back in. Let's put our caps back on. Let's be confident, right? I did notice on the low beam connector that the connector does look kind of yellowed and dark, so maybe it started to burn out in there. Just for fun, I'm going to reconnect these, and we'll make sure that everything's working before we put everything back together. Okay, connectors back in, the turn signal bulb back in. Just going to slide the housing back in temporarily here. And I want to double check our work. Make sure we get both bulbs working again. Turn the headlights on. Okay, we've got our low beam. Double check the high beam. And that is working as well. When I'd played with the connector before, I got it working and I put some grease in the end of it, and that didn't last very long. So I'm hoping this change in the harness will do it. Okay, I got to fix the wiring harness in there so everything's back to normal, and let's button everything down again and get the grill where it's supposed to be. Okay, so we tested the functionality of the light, so hopefully that continues. And one thing I forgot to show, let me get the headlight out again. This is the white piece that you got to pull down to release the headlight, and then when you put the headlight back in, you push it up and it pulls down on this piece in the headlight housing so that it's firmly inside the vehicle. Headlights in place. We'll go up inside here and reaffix that white slider that I showed you. Got to kind of get your hand way up in there. Let's get our 10mm bolts back in, and that'll secure the headlight again. Okay, we got the grill snapped into place at the bottom, and now I'm just putting our 10mm bolts back in on the top. And now we'll put that plastic cover back on. Acts as a bit of a shroud, I guess, to keep airflow going where it should be. Hopefully I've got some new clips that I can use. Oh yeah, I got to take that one out because I broke that. I did buy a bag of Timu body clips, or whatever you call these things. I do find these frustrating that you take them out once and that seems to be it. So you always got to have a bag of these lying around. Okay, cover's back on, grill's back in. I think I prefer not to take the grill out. You can get at this 10mm bolt down here by putting a long extension down through the top. But we've got two working headlights again on low beam and high beam. Typical problem on these Ram 1500s, I think the 25 and 3500s as well. Fairly easy fix. Fairly cheap fix too. I think the wiring harness was 20 bucks and I got two of them because, you know, obviously they figure at some point you're gonna have to replace them both. So I was happy with that. So that's it for this edition of Mundane Man, where we changed out the little wiring harness for the high and low beam on a Ram 1500. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.